Being unemployed does not make you a failure. Staying down does. There is a moment in every man's life when everything he thought defined him suddenly disappears. The job title, the routine, the paycheck, all gone. What is left is silence. A silence so loud it echoes through your bones and asks, "What now?" You wake up without an alarm. There is no destination. The world keeps moving forward, but you are frozen in place. You scroll through your phone and see people winning, promotions, vacations, businesses booming, and you retreat deeper into a pit of self-doubt. That voice inside begins to whisper, maybe you were never good enough. But here is the truth you must hear: your current situation is not your final sentence. It is your proving ground. This video is not for everyone. It is for the man who has been broken, overlooked, knocked off balance, but still burns inside. It is for the man whose spirit has been buried beneath fear, failure, and frustration, but is not yet extinguished. The man who is not done fighting. Today, I will not offer soft comfort. I will not paint over the pain. What I will offer is a challenge, a call to rise as a warrior, not with dramatic gestures, but with daily acts of intention. A warrior is not made on the battlefield. He is built in silence, in doubt, in the darkness where no one applauds. You may not have a job today, but you still have something more powerful. You have breath, you have time, and most importantly, you have choice. What you choose to do now will shape the next 50 years of your life. Forget the noise of social titles, online approval, or public opinion. The only voice that matters right now is your own, and it must speak with strength. I will rebuild. I will rise. I will fight for my life, because this is not your fall. This is your forge. Before any man can rise, he must face where he has fallen. Being unemployed is not just about losing a paycheck. It feels like losing your value, your role, your identity. People ask what you do, and suddenly there is no clean answer. You begin to question if you still matter. And that question does more damage than any lost job ever could. You start to avoid friends. You dodge questions. You look in the mirror and barely recognize the man staring back. There is a heaviness in your chest when you open your eyes each morning, and a deeper silence in your mind when you go to bed. That is the real pain of failure. It is not financial. It is emotional. It eats away at confidence. It rots your belief in yourself. But this is also where the warrior is forged. You must stop pretending you are fine. Stop saying, "I'm okay," when your world is falling apart inside. Warriors do not wear fake smiles. They face their wounds. They acknowledge them. They respect them. Because pain tells you that something must change. Pain wakes you up. Say it out loud. I am not where I want to be, but I refuse to stay here. This moment right here where you feel broken, empty, and lost, this is your turning point. Not the end of your path, but the beginning of your transformation. Every man who ever rose from nothing first faced the truth of his fall. He did not run from it. He did not drown it in distractions. He looked it in the eye and said, "You are not stronger than me." There is honor in admitting you are struggling. Because only when you accept where you are can you decide where to go next. You are not weak for feeling lost. You are not broken for needing time to reset, but you are responsible for what you do next. Oprah once asked a question that shakes the soul. Who are you really? And what do you want? That is not a casual question. That is a warrior's question. And you must answer it with your life, not just your words. You have fallen. Now stand in the ashes and choose. Will you stay here, or will you begin again? Because no one is coming to save you. You are the one who must decide to rebuild. And that decision in this very moment is the first act of power. The greatest war you will ever fight is not with the world outside. It is with the voice inside your head. When you are unemployed, it is easy to blame the system, to point at the economy, at former bosses, at unfair chances. And maybe some of that is true, but staying in that mindset turns you into a prisoner. Not of the world, but of your own excuses. The real battle is not against rejection letters or missed opportunities. It is against comfort, procrastination, self-pity. It is against that inner voice that says you are stuck, so why try? That voice will whisper that you are too old, too late, too lost. It will tell you to sleep a little more, scroll a little longer, wait another day. But every time you listen to that voice, it wins. And every time it wins, your spirit weakens. You must recognize this voice, and you must fight it. A warrior does not just carry swords, he carries clarity. He knows what thoughts to kill and what thoughts to feed. He knows that the enemy wears his face sometimes, and he still chooses to stand. This is your inner battlefield. It is invisible, but it is real. It is where men either stay fallen or begin to rise. Here is how the shift begins. Stop asking, why is this happening to me? Start asking, what is my next move? That one question can change everything. It takes you out of victimhood and into control. You may not control the world, but you can control your choices. You can control what you feed your mind. You can control how you show up each day. Every day, make it a fight. Not against people, not against fate, against the part of you that wants to stay in the dark. Make your bed, move your body, write your goals, study something new, apply for one job. Do it not because you feel like it, but because it is a fight worth winning. You will not feel motivated every day. That is normal. But discipline is not about feelings. It is about deciding who you want to become and taking one small step toward that man every single day. This is your war. Not with the world, with your mindset. Win here and you begin to win everywhere else. Once you have faced the fall and claimed your mind, there is only one path forward: discipline. Discipline is not about waking up at 5 in the morning to impress others. It is not about perfection. It is about power. The power to reclaim control of your day, your body, your focus. When everything else feels lost, discipline becomes the structure that saves you. When you are unemployed, time feels endless. That is dangerous. Because without purpose, time becomes a trap. It pulls you into cycles of delayed distraction and decay. But with discipline, time becomes your tool. You mold it. You own it. You use it to build again. Start small, but start seriously. Make your bed every morning. Not because it changes the world, but because it changes your state. It tells your brain, today, I am in command. Move your body, not for aesthetics, but for clarity. Pain, anxiety. Doubt these emotions live in stillness. Movement pushes them out. A walk, a workout, even deep breathing shifts your chemistry. Create a routine. Choose time blocks to apply for jobs, study skills, or reflect. Write down your plan, then execute no matter how you feel. Feelings are loud, but they are not your leader. A warrior does not wait to be motivated. He moves because that movement shapes his mind. There is a man who once had everything: a respected job, a house, a name, and then it all fell apart. He spent months in silence, defeated by shame. But one day, he decided to walk, just walk. 10 minutes, then 15, then a gym membership, then a journal. Each small act fed his fire again. Today he is not just employed, he is alive, because he chose discipline over despair. That man could be you. You do not need a full plan. You need a beginning, a disciplined beginning. And every day you show up, even with one act of focus, you build momentum. That momentum becomes confidence. That confidence becomes identity. You are no longer a man who is just unemployed. You are a man who moves, who builds, who fights with structure. This phase is not about making huge leaps. It is about small, unshakable steps, taken daily, taken with purpose, because discipline is not a punishment. It is your path to power. When the world feels small and you feel invisible, the most powerful thing you can do is to serve someone else. It may sound strange. You are the one struggling. You are the one with no answers. How can you help anyone? But this is where the warrior mindset breaks the rules of survival. You do not wait to be whole before you give. You give to become whole. Start with something small. Help a neighbor. Volunteer a few hours. Reach out to someone else who is also struggling and listen. You will realize something powerful. Pain shared becomes lighter, and strength grows in connection. Oprah said it clearly. Service and significance lead to success. And she was right. When you act with purpose, no matter how small, you create meaning. You stop being just a man who lost his job. You become a man who gives something back. Service shifts your focus from what you have lost to what you still have to give, and that shift is life-changing. Let us review what you have faced. You fell. You lost your title, your security, your direction. But instead of pretending or hiding, you stood in that fall and faced it. You took control of your thoughts. You stopped being the victim. You stepped onto the inner battlefield and claimed your mind. You chose discipline, not because it was easy, but because it was necessary. You created structure where there was chaos. You began again step by step, and you found purpose, not by waiting for success, but by serving others even when you were still rebuilding yourself. This is not fiction. This is your life. This is what you are doing right now. You are not defined by a title. You are not limited by your current situation. You are measured by how you rise, how you fight, and how you choose to move forward. So I ask you one final question, and I ask it not to test you, but to ignite you. Who will you become next? You have the answer. Not in your resume, not in a job title. The answer is in your actions, your grit, your refusal to quit. Wake up tomorrow, not as a broken man, but as a reborn warrior. No applause, no spotlight, just the grind, just the truth, just the rise. Fall down 7 times, stand up 8. This is not your end. This is your rebirth. In the quiet moments when the world stops talking and no one is watching, that is when your real strength is revealed. It is not in public victories. It is not in social praise. It is in the way you get up when no one is clapping, in the way you move forward when no one believes in you, in the way you whisper to yourself, "I will not give up," even when your voice is shaking. You were not born to stay down. You were born to rise, not once, not twice, but as many times as it takes. Maybe right now you feel alone. Maybe you are tired. Maybe you have nothing left but breath. That is enough. That is more than enough to begin. Use the silence. Use the emptiness. Use the rejection, the doubt, the fear. Let them become your fuel. You are not waiting for a sign. You are the sign. And the journey does not begin with a crowd. It begins with one man, one decision, one moment of courage. That moment is now. Stand up, look forward, and take the first step. Because warriors are not remembered for how they fall. They are remembered for how they rise. You have heard the truth. You have walked through the fire. And now you stand at the edge of a new beginning. This is not just another motivational video. This is a mirror that shows you who you really are beneath the noise, the fear, and the labels. You are a man with breath in his lungs, fight in his spirit, and purpose waiting to be unleashed. You do not need permission to begin again. You do not need validation to rise. You only need this moment and your choice. So let the world say what it wants. Let them doubt you, ignore you, underestimate you. It does not matter. The battle is not out there. It is in here with you, and now you know how to win it. Choose discipline over distraction. Choose clarity over chaos. Choose movement over comfort. Choose the path that few are willing to walk. This is your moment. Not tomorrow. Not someday. Now. Stand tall. Step forward. Become the man you were always meant to be. Fall down 7 times. Stand up 8, and never forget, a warrior is not defined by how he falls. He is defined by how he chooses to rise.